Kayla just told me that you had sex with her. And the only reason why I denied it to him was because his grandfather was sick. He sits here and says he had no idea.
Why did you say this after my grandfather was sick? You didn't sleep together until my father died.
But,
I went over there to see her. I got zero spiritual energy. I looked at her, don't look like me. She don't look like my sister.
All children don't have to look like father. They can look like me. They can look like the grandma. You don't know. It could be a visual of both of us. It's not all.
The question of paternity is not being brought up anymore. We ended up deciding to spice up our sex life. Female threesome with him. So he got to pick another woman. It was maybe a couple weeks later it got brought up. It'd only be if we had a male, and you. So I said, okay.
Buckle up, Buttercup. Judge Lake kicks off the show with the case of Brooks versus Page. Ms. Brooks claims she was all set to start a family with Mr. Page, but now he's backing out, saying, nope, not my circus, not my monkey. Mr. Page points fingers at another guy, Tony Wilson, claiming he's the dad because of some iffy Facebook posts. You've got to see what's next. It's a real soap opera.
Ms. Brooks, you state after getting out of a 9-year relationship, you fell in love with Mr. Page, a younger man who you say swept you off your feet. You claim both you and Mr. Page plan to have a child together, but since giving birth to your son, Ivion, Mr. Page is now denying the child you so desperately wanted to have with him.
Just when you thought it was a regular Tuesday, Mr. Page is adamant that Tony Wilson is the daddy, thanks to some shady social media shenanigans. Ms. Brooks is like, nah, he's just a buddy, despite some cozy pics online. Stick around, it's about to get juicier than a reality TV show finale.
Mr. Page, you state you know the child isn't yours because Ms. was having an ongoing affair with another man by the name of Tony Wilson. You say Mr. Wilson, who is also claims to be the father of her son and has even posted pictures on social media to that effect.
Grab your popcorn. The couple spills the tea on their rocky romance. Ms. Brooks talks about constant bickering, how Mr. Page doubts he's the father, all because she hangs out with Wilson. Ooh, the drama. You won't believe what they say next. It's a real head spinner.
Right now, our relationship is on the rocks. We really have no relationship. All we do is fuss and fight. He's denying.
Because every time I come from work, she out with Mr. Wilson. So I don't know what she's doing at work. When I'm at work, she calls me, and I'm at work, I call her. Don't pick up, don't nothing. I call everybody that she hangs around with, they won't. So to me, I think she tells them not to pick up the phone.
Things are heating up now. They dive deeper into why Mr. Page is freaking out over being a dad, bringing up Ms. Brooks's past relationship with a woman and some sneaky texts. Buckle up, because we're about to dive into some evidence that'll make your head spin. Can you handle what's coming? Judge Lake gets down to business with Mr. Page's so-called proof, which is basically just a bunch of photos that scream, it's complicated. Both sides have a lot to say about these snapshots. Keep your eyes peeled, because Mr. Wilson's about to crash the party.
It stimulates from the paternity issues because first, when we first got together, it was lovely. When I first was pregnant, he did everything good, during the pregnancy, and then everything changed.
What changed is her not being home when I come home at night, her and my son being around Mr. Wilson, her friend. That's what it comes from.
That I was in a 9-year relationship was a female.
Oh boy, here comes the witness. Mr. Wilson steps up to explain he's just the godfather, not the bio dad. Mr. Page isn't buying it though, highlighting all he does for the kiddo. Fasten your seatbelts. This clash is about to reach new heights.
Well, I'll be honest, that's my godson. I treat him like my son. I love him. On my lunch breaks, I stop past Sam, I spend time with him, take him to the park.
That's a lie.
How would that be a lie? You never there. You too busy playing the game, chilling with your homeboys and friends.
Why do you say he's lying?
I'm from Glen Burnie, Your Honor. We live in Baltimore. I don't have no homeboys and friends.
Did he just say that? Turns out, Mr. Wilson's been playing pretend daddy to everyone who'll listen. This revelation stirs up a storm of betrayal and confusion. You won't want to miss what's coming. The DNA bombshell is up next.
It was this girl I was dealing with to make her mad and make her jealous because she had issue with Miss Brooks because her hair was long, fingernails, she has on press-ons. I was just making her be jealous. But due to social media is something else. Let me tell you. She put all my business up. I think Santa Claus even know about the situation. But the only person I spoke with was the female that I was dealing with, which was my ex.
This is it, the big reveal.
It has been determined by this court. Wilson, you are not the father.
Told you.
Just when you think your love life is complicated, Nadeau drops the bomb that she's tangled up with not one, but 2 lifelong best friends. She's completely clueless about who fathered her 2-year-old son, Cameron, causing all kinds of drama and confusion. Stick around, because the tea is just starting to spill.
Ms. Nadeau, you are caught in the middle of 2 lifelong best friends because you slept with them both and now have no idea which is 2-year-old Cameron's biological father.
Grab your popcorn, folks. Mr. Santilli spills his guts about the heart-shattering He found out about Miss Nadeau's Christmas Eve betrayal. The revelation shattered his world and put his friendship on the line. And guess what? It's only going to get messier from here.
Now, Mr. Santilli, you admit it's taken you years to mend your broken heart since Miss Nadeau revealed to you Christmas Eve she'd slept with your best friend. Furthermore, you say she then dropped the bomb that may instead be your son's biological father. That news, you say, has devastated you beyond.
As if things weren't spicy enough, we dive into the backstory of Miss Nadeau's dramatic breakup with Mr. Santilli, filled with emotional mind games and the tragic passing of a close relative. She sets the stage for a rebound with Mr. Zara. Trust me, you'll want to see what happens next.
His grandfather was sick and passing away. He decided in a text message he was going to tell me that I was too good for him. As much as I tried to stop him, he left anyway. So I continued to go and see his grandfather while he's in the nursing home getting sicker, starting to pass away. The day he passed away was the day his best friend told me that really he had broken up with me, girl upstairs.
Can you believe this? Right after the funeral of Mr. Santilli's grandfather, Miss Nadeau and Mr. Zara find comfort in each other's arms. Yep, that happened. Buckle up, because this roller coaster is about to go off the rails.
The first time me and Mrs. Zara slept together was the day he passed away, the day grandfather passed away.
You don't really know who the father is. I always thought there was a code that, if you have a best friend, they don't sleep with your girl or any you dated. Look, unless it's been years or you get prior approval.
Enter Mr. Zara. He comes into the courtroom and throws another curveball by saying Mr. Santilli practically gave him the green light to go after Miss Nadeau. The plot thickens, and oh boy, you're not ready for what's next.
At first, I did not believe the child was mine. No, I denied it to the fullest, yes.
Hey.
At his house, he said, yo, bro, Kayla just told me that you had sex with her. And the only reason why I denied it to him was because his grandfather was sick. He sits here and says he had no idea.
How did you say this after my grandfather was sick? You didn't sleep together until my father died.
But,
And just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water, real drama starts. Both men are head over heels, thinking they might be Cameron's dad. They're both hooked, emotionally vested. And boy, the upcoming twist is a doozy.
So at what point did you come to believe this is mine?
After a few weeks of both of them promising that months of them promising that the kid
I was about
mine.
5 or 6 months pregnant, and he texted me and said that he wanted something to do with the baby and that he wanted to try to be together for him.
During the birth of the child, which one was with you?
I was there. Here's a picture of me in the hospital the day he was born.
Hold on to your socks because they're about to get knocked off. After Mr. Santilli lands in jail, the relationship dynamics take a wild turn with Miss Nadeau and Mr. Zara. It's a full-on soap opera, and the next scene is a cliffhanger.
So the next morning after you went to jail from this incident,
He took up his role as the child's father.
This is the first picture of Tom and Cameron together. I came out and said that, the baby's Tom's. That's what I believe now. He showed up. It was the day after Christmas Day, and he said, if he's my son, I want to do what I have to do to take care of him.
The moment of truth is here. Drum roll, please.
it has been determined by this court that Cameron's biological father is Mr. Santilli.
You won't believe this one. Ms. Rose kicks things off by demanding a DNA test for Mr. Jefferson and his buddy Mr. Power because, surprise, both could be daddy to her 3-year-old mini-me. Sire, fasten your seatbelts because we're just revving up.
Ms. Rose, you asking the court for DNA tests on 2 men. Your on-again, off-again boyfriend, Mr. Jefferson, his good friend, Mr. Power, who is waiting inside of the courtroom. Both men, you say, possibly be father of your 3-year-old son, Sire.
Just when you think it's all about baby drama, Ms. Rose throws in a zinger. She's accusing Mr. Jefferson of trashing her rep all over town, from church to the supermarket. You've got to stick around because the gossip gets juicier.
Now, Ms. Rose, you're also suing Mr. Jefferson $5,000 for defamation of character. You claim he's ruined your reputation at church, your job, and with your entire circle of friends. Now, Mr. Jefferson, you say you not only question the paternity of 3-year-old son, but you are also asking for the results of a DNA test on your 2-year-old son, Zayden, as well.
Hold on to your popcorn. Mr. Jefferson isn't just doubting daddy duties for Sire. He's also side-eyeing Zayden's paternity. He's convinced Ms. Rose has been playing musical chairs with their love life. Oh boy, wait till you hear what's next.
You claim Ms. Rose is a known cheater who has slept with your good friend and many others. Therefore, you doubt everything she says.
He definitely has this issue and constantly telling me that I'm so beautiful and he's not, and he's jealous of me and thinks that he's gonna lose me, and I'm constantly cheating on him, and it's just insanity.
And the truth comes out. Ms. Rose spills the beans about her tangled love web, admitting admitting she juggled both Mr. Jefferson and Mr. Power simultaneously for a hot minute before the pregnancy news hit. The plot thickens, so don't go anywhere.
I met Michael first, was sleeping with him. We were kind of together, but not very serious. He fell in love with someone, moved on, and then I ended up with Kenneth. There was a point where I was sleeping with both of them at the same time. Then later, that probably went on for a good month. Then I ended up getting more serious with him. Actually, I stopped seeing Michael, committed to Kenneth, and then I ended up pregnant about 2.5 weeks later.
Enter Mr. Power. Stage right, he strides into the courtroom to share his 2 cents, confirming his fling with Ms. Rose and fretting over potentially being Sire's dad. The tension's rising, and the next twist is a doozy.
You believe that you potentially could be Sire's father.
I met Alicia at a bar. Within 2 hours, we were back at her house having unprotected sex. We hooked up multiple times. You don't know, brother. She's just a bad person. I just
That you keep sleeping with.
Brace for impact. Judge Lake tackles the defamation claim, schooling everyone on what counts as slander and what's just chit-chat. The gavel comes down, don't wander off. The DNA results are up, and they're mind-blowing.
If you have slept around with men and you live a lifestyle where you choose to sleep, can't then claim defamation of character if somebody then talks about you. Say your whole life has been ruined, but I haven't heard anything where you've lost a job or lost something.
Here comes the big reveal. Drum roll, please.
Mr. Jefferson, you are the father.
Buckle up, folks. We kick things off with the juicy court case of Garrett versus Boyer. Ms. Garrett is here, all guns blazing, to prove that Mr. Boyer is indeed biological dad of her adorable 2-year-old Naomi. She's not just here for the drama, she's on a mission. Stick around because this roller coaster is just leaving the station.
Ms. Garrett, you are here on a mission today to that the defendant, Mr. Boyer, the biological father of your 2-year-old daughter, Naomi. You say that after a month of non-stop, unprotected sex with the defendant, you are 100% sure they fathered your child.
Oh boy, didn't see that coming. Mr. Boyer throws a curveball by totally denying he's Naomi's father, saying he only got wind of her a couple of months ago. His cool denial adds some serious spice to the mix. Just wait till you hear what's up next.
Mr. Boyer, you say there's no way you could be the biological father of Miss Garrett's baby. Her child is 2 years old and you learned of Naomi 2 months ago.
Cue the awkwardness. Things get a tad uncomfortable as Garrett and Mr. Boyer hash out their past fling, which was, let's just say, less than fairy tale-like. They admit it was all about the bada bing, bada boom. The plot thickens, and trust me, you'll want to stick around for the sizzle that's coming up.
It takes 2 to tango. Both grown, we both did what we did, and the result to what the fact that we did, we created a beautiful baby girl. And I just need to clarify to him that she is his, because if the fact that when the test results come that she is his, he will take care of my daughter. He will be responsible, because if not, I have no problem with taking him to court at all.
Here comes the TMI train. Choo-choo. Ms. Garrett openly admits to their month-long bedroom rodeo, which Mr. Boyer isn't fully buying. This juicy bit lays bare the root of their paternity pickle. Hang tight, because there's more eyebrow-raising stuff on the way.
And we had 31 days of sex, unprotected.
Straight of unprotected sex? I'm not gonna say that deserves a round of applause, even though you got one. You all were working real hard making a child, because you weren't using protection.
No, we was not.
Talk about dodging the question. Mr. Boyer sorta admits there was some action, but not the marathon Ms. Garrett is talking about. This half admission throws a little gas on the fire, making the need for a DNA test super obvious. Keep watching. The next bit is a doozy.
You admit you were in this sexual relation, or did you believe she was having sex with other people?
No, I was never under the impression that it was only me. It was too easy for it to be only me. I never wanted to put her under the wing like fried rice, though. She was just part of the plate, like temporarily, not to take home and put in the microwave.
Under the wing like fried rice?
I never wanted to put her under the wing like fried rice, no.
Man plot twistle. The soap opera spirals as Ms. Garrett reveals she initially thought another dude was the dad due to their timing. This revelation throws another potential daddy into the chaos. The next revelation is just as juicy, so don't go anywhere.
After our sexual relationship was over, I wound up dating another guy. Me and him was consistent. Automatically the other gentleman's baby. So
you started dating somebody new, thought it was his child. So you told him, I'm pregnant.
Yes.
Was he happy about it?
Yes, he was.
So you told him you were pregnant and you never to notify Mr. Boyer?
No.
And here comes the skepticism train, full steam ahead. Mr. Boyer meets little Naomi and feels zilch, nada, no daddy vibes at all. This crucial moment really cranks up his doubt to level 100. But stick around, the next part is even more jaw-dropping.
She asked me to try to be around, try to get to know Naomi a little bit. I went over there to see her. I got zero spiritual energy. I looked at her, don't look like me. She don't look like my sister. I don't know, maybe the eyes, but that's about it. I don't see any resemblance there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
All children don't have to look like father. They can look like me. They can look like the grandma. You don't know who to look like. It could be a visual of both of us. It's not all.
You might want to sit down for this. The judge lays down the law with DNA proof that the other guy is not the father. Now it's really crunch time for Mr. Boyer, and the air is thick with anticipation. The big reveal is up next, and it's a humdinger.
And so the DNA test revealed the man that you were sure was Naomi's biological father was
100%.
in fact not her biological father.
I have it with me, Your Honor.
I'd like to see it. So this is a copy of the paternity results, and there's a 0% probability of paternity regarding the other potential.
Yes, Your Honor.
Here it is, the big kahuna, grand finale.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Boyer, you are not the father.
Brace yourself, folks. Everyone's told to park it because the show is starting. Hellos are thrown around the courtroom, and the title bout, Strempke versus Jaramillo, is on the marquee. It's about Ms. Strempke dragging Mr. Jaramillo into court, because oh boy, the family drama is peaking due to some major daddy doubts that are tossed out there. And just when you thought your family reunions were rough, check out what's next.
Ms. Strempke, you've dragged Mr. Jaramillo to court in hopes of saving your family, which you claim is falling apart due to paternity denial. You say the defendant paternity for both of your daughters, 4-year-old Naviana and 8-month-old Elect, but you want to prove that he is their father.
Hold the phone. Did he just say that? Mr. Jaramillo drops a bombshell about his doubts on being the daddy, claiming he was an eyewitness to some suspicious shenanigans make him question the whole fatherhood gig. He's pretty adamant that without DNA proof, this family picture might as well be a sketch. Fasten your seatbelts. It gets bumpier from here.
Mr. Jaramillo, you claim doubt is valid because you were present when another man impregnated Ms. Strempke. Family you thought you were building is not salvageable until you have DNA proof.
Grab some tissues. This one's a tearjerker. Mrs. Strempke spills the beans on how the paternity mess is messing with their kiddos, especially 4-year-old Naviana, who's starting to side-eye her dad, wondering if he's really the guy. She lays it all out, painting a picture of a home where doubt is part of the decor. You'll want to stick around for the next bit. It's a doozy.
Your Honor, I feel like my family is falling apart because my daughters are basically growing up how I had to. We didn't have both parents present at different times. We were denied. I feel like they can't trust their dad because he denies that he's their dad at the time. And my 4-year-old Naviana knows. She can hear the, well, I'm not her dad anyway. And it just gives her doubt. And when she looks at her dad, there's not going to be respect there.
Talk about a plot twist. They met as teens in a lockup, which sounds like the start of a bad rom-com, right? Ms. Strempke digs into their rocky start and how it's haunting their present. It's a saga of bad timing and tough breaks, all wrapped up in a not-so-fairy tale romance. Don't go anywhere. The story takes a wild turn next.
We met very young. I was 13. We met in a lockup facility we were both staying at. We had no choice. We didn't have childhoods at all, so we had to stay there. I see it now, and I don't go down that road to where they have to go through what we did.
2 children and your family on the line, I understand that.
Okay, who had this on their bingo card? The talk turns to the sticky topic of paternity tests. Ms. Strempke admits to past liaisons, throwing Mr. Jaramillo's fatherhood into question. He explains why he signed the birth certificate. It was a total hallmark moment. But hold on to your popcorn. This drama isn't cooling down yet.
I was upfront with told you that there was one other person before we had gotten together.
You said one other, and then came another fellow that your best friend told me about.
I had never slept with anybody but one person besides you, and that was before we had gotten together.
Did you ever attempt to have a paternity test back then?
No, Your Honor, because every time I brought it up, it was always, oh, I know she's mine. I know she's mine. I mean, I have right here.
Can't make this stuff up. They decided to add some zest to their love life with a threesome, which just complicates things further regarding little Alexis's daddy drama. They unpack this choice and its aftermath, showing just how tangled things can get when you throw extra people into the mix. What happens next? You guessed it, more chaos.
It ended up an actual conversation where I was, okay, well, it wouldn't be the worst thing because we're getting along really well. The question of paternity is not being brought up anymore. We ended up deciding to spice up our sex life and everything, and we ended up having female threesome with him, so he got to pick another woman. It was what it was. We did it. It was maybe a couple weeks later it got brought up. It only be if we had a male, and you. So I said, okay.
Phew, finally some answers. Judge Lake rolls out the DNA results, and guess what?
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Jaramillo, you are the father.
So here we go. Curtain rises on quite the courtroom drama. The case of Kennedy versus Pope kicks off with the judge laying down the welcome mat. He greets everyone in his usual style, and we're all set to dive into a paternity mystery involving Mr. Kennedy, Ms. Pope, and a little one named Christian. Grab your popcorn, because this is just the warm-up act.
Mr. Kennedy, you claim to be a nice guy who was to make the tough decision to drag the defendant to court, prove you did not father her 3-month-old son, Christian.
Oh boy, here it gets spicy. Ms. Pope and her mom are throwing some serious shade, insulted that Mr. Kennedy is denying he's the baby daddy. Ms. Pope is all fired up, demanding that he take responsibility after their fling. And guess what? The tea is about to get even hotter.
Ms. Pope, you and mother are insulted that Mr. Kennedy denied paternity and refused to acknowledge your child. You say he laid down with you and now he has stepped up and paid.
Hold on to your seats, folks. Mr. Kennedy spills the beans on why he thinks Ms. Pope is pinning the baby on him. He paints a picture of their casual fling turning into this court drama, insisting it was all chill and no strings attached. Oh, but keep your eyes peeled. The plot thickens in a minute.
I believe she's just looking for someone to pin it on or pick up the slack for her previous, encounter.
And so, take me back to the nature of your relationship.
It started off as just friends. We met through a mutual friend. It got physical once got to know each other.
So did you all enter into a committed relationship? Were you boyfriend and girlfriend?
I would say briefly.
And the saga continues. Ms. Pope reminisces about the good old days when Mr. Kennedy was the all-American charmer, which, spoiler alert, didn't last long. She dishes on how things went south after they got cozy, setting the stage for their current courtroom clash. Don't touch that dial, because it's about to get even juicier.
We did get along in the beginning, but he was a jerk, and I no longer wanted to be around that.
Why were you sleeping with him if he was a jerk?
He came off as an all-American guy in the beginning. We had a lot of things in common. We had the same birthday, the same football team.
The bottom line is you all got along in the beginning, and you started a sexual relationship with him.
Yes, Your Honor.
Things are heating up. We shift gears to when Ms. Pope figured out she was expecting, and Mr. Kennedy's jaw-dropping reaction, or lack thereof. She details how she broke the news and his lukewarm response, ramping up the tension. Stick around, because you won't want to miss what's coming up next.
My version is we were in the beginning, but then it became friends with benefits, kind of a ordeal. Yes,
But
Your
you
Honor.
were having a sexual relationship,
Yes, Your Honor.
and you were not using protection?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Pope, at some point you say the tables start to turn.
Yes, Your Honor.
Because he accuses you of having feelings for your ex?
That's not even remotely true. The reason why she didn't have a GED, she didn't have a future plan.
Cue the dramatic music. Mr. Kennedy talks about getting the bombshell via Facebook after the baby arrived, which was his first clue he might be a dad. Yep, you heard that right. Facebook. This modern twist to the paternity puzzle adds a whole layer of what the heck. Stay tuned, because the surprises are far from over.
Through Facebook, I got messages.
He did not tell you she even had the baby until after the baby was born.
Yes,
I
Your
had
Honor.
messaged him the night
And you
that I
get
went into
some
labor.
messages. I've been trying to get a hold of you. I wanted to call you and talk. Reply about. She replies, would you like to guess? And then you reply, no. And then Ms. Pope says, okay, well, I'm not sure how to say this, so I'll just show you. And you send a picture of the baby.
Yes, it looks just like him.
Guess who decided to make a visit? Mr. Kennedy finally goes to see baby Christian for the first time, trying to spot any family resemblances. He's looking for any sign that might link him to the kiddo, all while wrestling with his feelings about the whole mess. And oh boy, get ready for the big reveal soon.
I took a 6-hour trip out of my day to go up and actually see the child with my own eyes, just to make sure I didn't get anything until after the child was born.
So when you took the time and went up to see Christian, what happened?
Just held him for a while, trying to gather, anything, kids or anything like that, find any similarities between him and I, and that was basically it.
And boom goes the dynamite.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Kennedy, you are the father.